Welcome everybody to Woodwire and Watts. I'm Chris.
I'm Adam.
I'm Topher.
Today we're going to be talking with Eddie Rifkind, maker of the Karen and Ken pedals, about getting into pedal building and running a pedal business. We'll also touch on some gear news, and of course we have our weekly Riff challenge. At the end of the podcast, we'll also have a very special musical guest, Bryce Job of Spill Canvas. Hang on to your seats. This one's going to be a fun one. All right, so we'll touch first, just like last time, on gear news. So I only had a couple things down this week. No, I have three, actually, but my phone's over there. Yeah. So first thing, the Dunlop Jim Chancellor Crybaby Fuzz Filter and Wah Pedal. You said you looked this up already, right?
I was watching some videos today. It looks pretty nasty.
So whole control set down the side, right?
Yeah, it looks like you can do them independently, fuzz or wah or both, which is cool. And I should be closer to the mic because, you know.
Yeah. Do you have any commentary on or did you happen to see this?
No.
Okay.
I got nothing.
You know.
What is
new
it?
Crybaby Wah pedal. It's from Jim Chancellor, who's the bass player of Tool. But it's got a fuzz built into it.
I did hear about this.
Yes.
He's a guy that likes wah and also like fuzz and octave fuzz. So it seems like this takes the place of at least a couple of them.
That's handy. That's cool.
So, I almost had some like synthy kind of sounds when you sweep through it with the fuzz on. It's pretty nasty sounding.
And the filter, I think you can set with the knob too, if I remember right. Yeah. I didn't look into it too deep.
Yeah. But actually, I'm only a bass player once in a while, but I kind of want to check one out.
Yeah, well, I keep hearing like it can be like it's not specifically like EQ'd for bass. I don't think
most pedals aren't. It's
it's
a funny myth most of the time.
Yeah. Well, what is it? The people are wanting the deluxe bass Big Muff for guitar rigs. Like that's usually a thing. Like they don't like the regular deluxe.
I had a deluxe bass Big Muff for when I was playing bass with a band, and when I wasn't doing that stuff, I ran my guitar through it pretty frequently because it sounded really good.
Yeah, nice. Other thing I had on the list was, which I don't remember this being a relatively new pedal. I thought it was older, but the Boss FZ1W Wazacraft, but I don't know when that actually came out.
It came out like just within the last several weeks, I think.
Okay.
It was because earlier this year they put out the
Tone Bender.
The Tone Bender FC1 or FC whatever, I don't know what it was, but it was a clone. It was an exact clone of the Tone Bender with like a couple of mods, but they only made super limited quantities that are super expensive.
Yeah.
Now they're like dumb prices.
Yeah, like $1,000. Yeah.
But this is actually an original fuzz pedal from Boss.
Oh, so it's not? Is it not like a clone?
Yeah, it's supposed to be their own idea of a circuit.
I thought the FZ1 already existed. Like, wasn't that one of the big like doomy pedals?
That was the FZ2. They never had an FZ1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think FZ2 I think is the one that's like was the big whatever one that people like.
Yep. So that's the Behringer has the Super Fuzz, which is based on that. That's a $20 like the pink one, the hot pink one.
So is that like a Boss case with like it's not there's no paint on it? It's like just straight.
Oh yeah. They have a couple metal ones like pure metal ones. I think
I like the look of that. See, I like pedals like that.
Yeah, the stripped down look. These look really good. Yeah, like plus like Boss's cases are like the most built
for sure.
But yeah,
they're hard to miss when you're trying to turn them on and off.
Yeah. Yes, that is true. Very much.
It's good enough for Prince.
Did you guys see? Yeah, it's true. Did you guys see? There's a guy. I think he's a Redditor, Gear Ant. He has taken the Boss enclosures and put the Proco Rat into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, he's selling them off for like a decent amount, like $75. Like it's a decent price. But yeah, custom orders though.
That's awesome.
Like, it's tempting.
So wait, so what's this? It's got this little V and M at the
Vintage
top.
and modern.
Yeah. So are you familiar with the Waza series at all?
I'm not at all.
Okay. So normally Boss is manufactured in Taiwan. Is that right? I want to say
that. Yeah, these are actually made in Japan.
Yeah. So these are their Waza's are Japanese custom shop, effectively.
Okay.
So all of the Boss Waza stuff is like one. Yes, it's more expensive, but it's also going to be high quality components. It's going to have a few more features like I had the CE2W, which I regret selling. That was the best sounding chorus I've ever had.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but it had the original like CE1 full enclosure mode on it. Yeah, so you get stuff like that. They have a tuner too. They have a Wazacraft tuner.
It makes you extra in tune.
Yes, it's true bypass. I think is the difference, and it's blue LED.
I feel like the words boss and true bypass aren't supposed to go together.
I can't knock them, but yeah, you're right. Like, yeah.
This one, I don't know. I didn't. This one really didn't turn me on that much.
I like fuzz, but that's another one of those things. Like I like it. Yeah. I always like when other people play fuzz, but every time I plug into something, I don't like the sound of it.
Dude, same.
Yeah, like it's strange.
I love fuzz. I play fuzz as often as I can.
Yeah, I love it.
Like I can name a number of guitarists who I know use fuzz pedals, like exclusively use fuzz pedals. Love their sound, but I can't. A lot of them I can't get to do what I want it to do.
I say every time I play them, I like them for experimenting and playing around, but like it's not part of my sound.
Yeah, I get that. It was a fuzz face, the MXR clone. Mm-hmm. I had that one for a little bit. It didn't sound great with the and that might be my problem. Like maybe it's just the amp I use. Like I didn't like it with the Marshall, but I know your Princeton's pretty bass heavy, so I wonder if like maybe that fixes some of the problems I hear on like the Marshall. Like I don't know, maybe or maybe you just know how to use them better.
My Princeton's like picky about everything though because it's so bass heavy.
Yeah, that's fair. I could see
version.
that.
I don't know. I like a lot cleaner amps for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although Hendrix didn't have a problem with a fuzz face into a Marshall.
That's true. Yeah. There's a lot older version though too, right? Like I'm guessing MXR probably did something different. So
that TC Electron, the Rusty Fuzz, that's the fuzz face, right?
Do you know?
Not 100% sure.
No.
I know they released a bunch of different fuzz pedals, or at least 2 or 3.
I thought you told me.
One of them's. I know they did one that's like a Big Muff and one that's a fuzz face. I'm not sure which is which.
TC Silicon Fuzz Face is what it's based on. Yep. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
You were correct.
I did like, and
I think I'm correct because you're correct because you told me.
I probably forgot by now.
And I did like I shouldn't have got rid of that Behringer Super Fuzz. I did like it. I just wasn't using it enough outside of playing in here, and then when I tried to use it anywhere else, like I'd either get lost in the mix and you couldn't hear anything. So I would get one of those again though. They're still like $20.
Yep. Good cheap pedal.
Yeah, true. So the last thing I had, I didn't get a chance to add it to our list. Okay. And you probably will not be into it. Hotone, Hot One, Hotone, whatever it is, Hotone.
Yeah,
that company has released I just saw today, released a HX Stomp clone. It's
is that new?
Yeah, I thought so. Or maybe it's a version 2.
Didn't they have didn't they have an Ampero before?
Yeah, so this is the Ampero 2. I thought it was new. Maybe I'm behind on
I didn't know they did a new version.
Yeah, Ampero 2 Stomp is what, and it looks like a cross between the HX and what's the one that has
That does kind of look like it.
There's like that $1,200 multi-effects unit that has the touchscreen.
Oh, not from Line 6, from Head Rush.
Head Rush, yeah. Yes. So it looks like
it kind of looks like the Head Rush.
Like I feel like if this was like $100 cheaper, it would be, because it's $499. Like
still cheaper than most of them.
Yes, it's cheaper than, like, if that's what it's supposed to be as an HX clone. Like it is significantly cheaper by at least $200.
I've only had like a couple of Hotone pedals.
Yep.
I had their. It was the little like amp in a box. I can't remember what the name of it was. All it did was simulate amps. Had no extra effects. Or anything.
Binary amp.
Yeah, I had a binary amp, and that was kind of meh.
Yeah, it was fun.
It sounded okay, but it was noisy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in my opinion.
So let's pretend there's a guy who doesn't know anything about any of this stuff.
Did you want to join the talk, Topher?
Yeah.
What does this thing do? What is
Okay.
This is like your amp and your pedal board all in a little box, but with no actual amplification.
So this is everything. So not just a multi-effects unit, amp in a box.
It's an amp too. Okay.
Do you know
It doesn't make things louder.
No, it doesn't.
But it sounds like an amp.
If you plug it into a PA, that's all you need is your guitar into this into a PA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you know what IRs are? Impulse responses?
Not at all.
Okay. So they're super cool. Like this is the tech nerd in me. So what they do yes, okay. They take
Enlighten us.
Yes, they take and Adam will correct me as I go and get too excited about it. So
you're probably more knowledgeable in this area.
They take a cab, like a cab or amplifier, usually just a cab,
Okay.
and through it they play an impulse sound. Generally, it's like it's white noise or pink noise, technically, which is full spectrum noise. That's
okay.
Getting too technical.
Sounds good.
They play sound through it and capture it with a microphone in the room. And you can use that sound to emulate the sound of the actual cabinet. So I can go out and get like a Vox AC30 like cab IR and put it into this thing.
Ooh.
And what's cool is you can also do it by cab. So if like you and I both have different cabs or like similar cabs and it just happens to be like yours is made of pine, mine's made of maple, you like the sound of yours better, you can make your own with that and then take it with you. So you can actually have your own cab sound anywhere.
Without actually having my cab. Okay,
yes.
Cool.
The other thing is when you buy these IR files, they are dirt cheap. Like I bought 15 of them from Celestion for $8. Yeah,
it's a lot cheaper than a new 412.
Yes, it is. And so you can get like, and it's not just this that does it. Like the Hotone Omni IR is $60, and that'll do it. And that's pretty good. But you can like load up like whichever impulse you want. So if you have a preamp, like you have a Vox preamp, a Marshall preamp, pedal on your board, and you wanted to like switch between those two preamps and have a nice cab impulse, you can have all that, and you don't have to haul around your cab. You just have to plug it right into your PA.
Okay.
Or use it for recording.
That'd be cool.
So that's what I do usually is I have a real good Marshall 4x12 4x12 IR, and then I also have Ola England's, he's a YouTuber, does metal stuff. He released a 212 Heisu, and I use those two constantly along with Fluff from Riff Beards and Gear. He did an amp sim with ML Sound Labs, so it's a Friedman amp head into one of those two IRs, and that's how I get like the sound I get for when we did Last Play Home stuff.
Dude, Gear's come so
Yes.
so far.
Yes. So those IRs were originally supposed to be reverb, actually, is what they made it for. So they originally wanted to do it. You could, and you can buy these. You can go in and get like reverb IRs of like concert halls. Like they sell it from, what's the big one? Like the Prague Opera Hall.
Okay, cool.
Prague Opera House. Or you can get like the Sistine Chapel as a reverb, and then you can load that into your like pedal and then use it as your reverb unit. Yeah, it's the coolest thing. Yeah, did I miss anything?
No, that was a lot of words.
I'm sorry.
I understand how it works, but I'm not. I don't. There's super into the stuff. So.
There's math.
And
I don't know the math to it.
I appreciate it. It's not something I think I would ever.
Yeah, I would never use the reverbs for sure, but I like the fact that it exists. You know what I mean?
I
would like
that
to
it
mix
exists.
something in the like that sounds like it's in the
Yes.
16 Chapel. That'd be cool.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
16.
Yeah. Not
The 16 candle.
Words.
Not the 15th chapel with the 16th one.
Yeah, the 16th. It's been a very long day.
Moving right along. This week's original riff challenge, introduced by Adam.
This week's original riff challenge. What if Tony Iommi found our Lord Jesus?
Oh God.
And started playing CCM?
I'm playing mine first this week because it's bad. Ready? This was literally supposed to be Tony Iommi did too many drugs and forgot which band he was playing with.
Let's be clear. I understand who Tony Iommi is, but I don't know what CCM is.
Oh,
It's
contemporary
Christian contemporary music.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What happens if he got pulled into?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That felt like
Fun.
a mellow, like that was like a mellow, like funk groove underneath, like a slow jam.
I was thinking like gospel R&B.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll preface mine with I had to listen to a couple cuts of CCM because I had no idea what it was supposed to sound like.
You
My only reference was like Faith Plus One from South Park.
Oh, it's not a good reference.
It's about spot on though. It honestly is spot on. Oh Lord. All right, Adam. This is your play.
As the kids would say,
I didn't have a lot of time.
that slaps.
No, that actually sounds more like yeah, I would expect to hear that on the local like Jesus radio station.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to make it, Tony. I was like, well, we'll put a diminished fifth at the end.
I mean this with love because I respect the hell out of Tony Iommi, okay? I think you were a little too complicated for his playing.
I understand that, like, you know, like he's a great guitar player, but I rhythmically and like I realize it's kind of like Jimmy Page was a great guitar player, but like they're great in that way. That's just there's a little bit of slop here and there. It's just not always
right. Yeah,
it's not always just clean and precise.
Yep, fair enough.
But I mean, not.
That's all I do is for playing. It's all slop.
Yeah. Me too.
I say,
Just add more reverb and delay.
All right,
Atta boy.
Topher.
Who wins?
I'm giving it to Adam this time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it sounds like well done.
I don't know though that it's because that it's with the Iommi sound, but it definitely matched the style to me and
Yeah,
the style that I just learned.
You were all right. Well, that was something.
Hey everybody, we're being joined right now by Eddie Rifkind. He is a maker of some fine guitar pedals. If you have seen the Karen, then you know who we're talking to. So Eddie, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Let's just get it head start here and say, how did you get interested in building guitar pedals and like what was the first thing you ever did?
I got into guitar pedals in general like 3 years ago. Before that, like I've been playing for a long time, but I had this multi-processor since like the late 90s and it has 100% held me off. So now I'm kind of like regressing here and going analog and modular. But it was not long after I got my first fuzz pedal and after I got my first kit that I was like, oh my God, I love this. I've been an artist and a musician for a long time, but I've never really felt as much ownership as I did when I like built that first circuit. It was like, holy shit, this is a real fuzz pedal. It's the little things sometimes.
Yeah. Had you done like a lot of like electronics related stuff, or did you just dive in?
No, I really just dove in. It was a hot mess. I found some really cool, like a little bit old, but some really cool instructions from a guy named Joe Gore online. There's this old website called theToneFiend.com, and he's got all these step-by-step instructions for like building your own basic guitar pedals. And he's always like, here's my soldering, please do better. But like he designs really cool circuits and then has some people build them. And so I went along with it. I started building like the Baz Fuss, which is like a common basic circuit, the Electra Distortion, which is what led me back to the Karen, because that's what that's based off of. And yeah, that really got me into it. As soon as I just had a few of these under my belt, I knew this was just another form of my art, and I was totally going for it. I'm sorry, honey.
So you went from, so I think you just kind of told us, pretty soon after, but like, how did you go? I built a kit, or built some pedal schematics I found, to I think I'm gonna start kind of my own pedal brand, or start launching my own thing.
It was surprisingly early. I think that when I first made this like bizarre jump into fuzz pedals, it was just because I saw a demo that made me appreciate them in the same way I might appreciate, say, a brushstroke, something I'm used to paying attention to, where you can put so much detail into a really simple thing like a fuzz circuit. Anybody that's played one knows what I mean. They're kind of simple, but like you can get vast amounts of different tones, some of which are like beautifully hard to control. So for me, it was really something I could relate to, just like that. And it was, with art and music, I'm very self-indulgent. I always have been. Basically funding it all my life through day jobs because I refuse to bend. And anybody that wants to see what I mean can find my stuff at Bandcamp. God help you all. But Eddie Rifkind, it's like all the same spelling. If you want to find anything of mine, it's my name dot whatever, or my name at whatever site. Instagram, Bandcamp, SoundCloud. That's for the really brave listeners.
We'll make it easy for everybody.
We'll
links.
We'll put some links in here. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you guys. But like, so I've been doing all this stuff, but I never really found any kind of way that I was comfortable with marketing it. And I think that's what pedals did for me. They immediately put me in a place where I can have a foothold. I saw the market as it was. It was really interesting to see all the independent builders on Reverb. And so I found a way to put my foot in the door. I was like, what if somebody did one of these? Or what if somebody tried that? Just a really simple thing that felt intuitive, that I liked playing through when I designed it. I felt that ownership over it. It was easy to move forward. It was nice, and every time you sell something, even at cost, that's an incredible reward. And it's incredibly validating, especially if you're a crazy artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I am curious then, with the names, like I know the Karen, and then I've seen images and things recently with the Ken pedal. Where do you come up with ideas like that? Like as far as how you name everything and art and all that?
It's funny. When I was doing mostly music a long time ago, one of my bandmates told me, Eddie, you should really put some humor into your work. You're always such a wacky guy. And I'm like, no, I'm dark and my art is serious, and that's not going to happen. And these days I'm like, I can't not put the silliness into my art. It's like, and it doesn't have to be any less dark or weird or honest, but the humor, it just lives there naturally. And so with the Karen thing, I think it's just the timing, the accumulation of all the crazy shit that I saw online, that we all saw. I remember when Barbecue Becky happened, I was working just outside of that area. So like everybody was talking about it. So there's some real classics. And, I think it was just the time that I jumped on Instagram and the kind of coincidence that I saw. There were also other people that clearly embraced it, like Chibson, which is like what would you call it? The Mad Magazine of like guitar gear memes.
It's so good.
That's a perfect description. Yeah.
So I guess I kind of felt like the stage was set and what the hell was I going to do? And like one day it just hit me because the Electro Distortion, as I said, which I decided to revisit. Well, there was a clone of the EQD speaker cranker, which is an Electro Distortion, and it was called the Cranky Speaker. It was like a little PCB that I purchased, and I loved it. It was really kind of an ingenious little circuit, the way they designed it. And so then it hit me because the word speaker was in all these things. And of course, Karen memes were like everywhere. They're like kudzu. There's one now. And like, I swear to God, and it just hit me, speaker manager. Holy shit. And then, the question being, does it work as a pedal? But obviously, at that point, I was committed enough to make sure it worked as a pedal. I looked for like a half year for a good tone stack. Like I was going to make this happen. As far as all the stuff that came after it, like the Ken, I had no particular plans, but there were so many responses, and there are a whole bunch of buyers that were like, so are you going to do a Ken pedal? Somebody wants me to do a barbecue Becky Wah pedal. Like, wow, they're barbecuing. That's going to be profound. I cannot wait for that. And I have never built a Wah, so I'm going to buy and modify a Dunlop and do like a charcoal switch with unauthorized and authorized. Like, so we'll see. So it writes itself. A lot of this feedback is giving me what I need for more.
I know. I've got to save some money for a wah pedal.
Yeah, exactly.
So knowing that, like you kind of said, you've really only been into pedals for a few years, which that's insane that you've gotten to go down such a journey. But in that time, do you have some like guitar pedal that is like kind of your holy grail or your favorite, or you've been like, this is the best thing I've ever heard?
And if you want 3 of them, I think I can probably name 3, but
okay.
Like honestly, I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to guitar pedals, which is also, I love you. Sorry, honey. So, yeah, see, so certain things are gonna end or be sold on Reverb, but it's been awesome. And like you have to buy a lot to learn about them, especially if you're new. You're gonna be like, oh, you know what I can do? It's like, yeah, that's called a Phase 90. So I've been buying a lot of pedals, and one of them is the Phase 90. That's one of my 3 favorites. That thing is just delicious. It's like weird sort of tube screamery style phaser. It just pushes like all your gain stages so nicely. It's meaty. It's got that meaty sound. Number 2 is a triangle Big Muff. That is like the best damn distortion pedal ever. And I know Earthquaker was it Earthquaker? They just did Hizunitas, which is basically a triangle Big Muff. And I was like, yep, that sounds just as awesome as I remember it. That's amazing. I have one on my board now, and I'm just like rediscovering it every time number 3 is the Boss Digital Delay. I have played not a ton of crazy expensive delay pedals, but I've seen a whole lot of demos, and it gets pretty out there. But whenever it comes to really being inspired by a pedal, every time I turn that thing on, like I lose hours. And it's a great sounding, usable pedal. And what I mean by that Boss Digital Delay is kind of everyone they've done. I haven't tried the 8 yet, but it's the way they approach it. It's phenomenal. And like I have been thrown out of guitar stores.
I have the 8.
Those are
by the
3.
way.
Huh?
I have the 8. You need to get it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Very much looking forward to it. It lets what it lets me do? It let me recreate some of the coolest intros that I've heard, like particularly this one on the David Bowie thing where they use the glitch mode, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's that I can. And so yeah, I've lost about a day playing with that. So there you go. Now I'm done.
Anything that make you lose track of time, that you're on the right path. Yeah,
without a doubt. And that's like the non-self-serving answer, because in truth, like I did design my pedals to be kind of to my own personal taste, you know? So I could say, well, the Karen and the Satellite of Fuzz are best ones out there. Well, they might be for me. I don't know, but
The Karen, like being a user of the Karen myself now, I found that it works really well before and after like all kinds of different gain pedals. So I would say you did a great job with it.
thank you very much. It was important to me that it was actually not just a meme. Like, because as it comes and goes, as the meme life cycle happens, you want to have like an actual usable product after like that Karen thing goes away. And for me with this pedal, it's been a very large arc, and now it's dying off kind of naturally without any help by itself.
Yeah, and I think you putting in that really usable tone stack in there that you could switch in and out makes you you're able to place it in a lot of different spots because of that, which is cool.
Very cool.
So are there like any specific hurdles that you've come across in building the pedals, like things that you didn't expect, and ways you got through them?
Oh yeah, there were a lot of things I didn't plan for, and I kind of knew that would happen, but didn't know what they were until they happened. One of the big mistakes was taking too many orders with the same timetable, so I got really backed up at the beginning. I have never had to plan for mass production like that. I've been building them in my home, one at a time, which is like kind of what is to be expected. And then all of a sudden I had like, I don't want to brag, but like a lot of freaking Karen orders, and I had to just like take care of these customers. And some of them did come out late because I was positive that I would get them out at a certain date. And then 3 things that I couldn't have guessed happened on the way to that date. And I was like, well, shit, I have to contact everybody with a new date. One of my favorites was like right after I designed this thing, they discontinued those concentric knobs. It was in silver. Only 13 of those were made, and Small Bear discontinued them.
Oh no.
Nobody on the planet seems to have these things. I contacted people that I thought actually made these things, and they were like, okay, can you send us the technical drawings? And I was like, this is way above my pay grade right now. Like, and I really tried, but I think I was being stonewalled by people that were trying to see if I was serious or if I had a lot of money. I don't know. I don't know enough about the industry, but I guarantee you I'll find out. But so yeah, I had to contact 27 buyers and ask them if black knobs were okay after they paid me. They were cool with it, but still. So like just little things like that. But definitely a lot of them, I had to contact people multiple times and be like, and give them a new finish date for their pedal. And that it was based on simply having a format in which I kept taking the same order, and like my estimates for building time were off. Now they're not going to be, but yeah, I learned my lesson right around June and July, and a little bit before that, as some people may remember.
Sorry if
I felt.
So sorry if I asked you a couple times about my pedal order.
No, dude, like a lot of people were very patient with me. And I've seen, I feel better when I see other builders going through the same thing, especially now with crazy like supply chain problems. The best thing to do is, whatever happens, be honest with your peeps, be honest with your followers, let everybody know what's going on, and take care of them. Like one thing I'm in a position to do as an independent builder is like really make sure that 100% of my buyers are completely happy or perfectly well addressed. I can personally reach out to them and make sure of that. And maybe like major companies don't have the resources, or perhaps don't trust enough people to do that. But I hope I can build a foundation like that and just somehow keep that going.
Yeah, that's. It seems like you're getting things under control. I mean, man, that's impressive. You're doing all those things on your own. You're doing the art on the pedal casings as well as manufacturing. You're basically just doing all of it, right?
Yes, I do like collaborations, I will say. And Ken is a partial collaboration, which I'll get to in a sec. I am making everything for the Karen myself, except there's one thing which I don't have a setup for etching the circuit boards, and I'm having another builder I know etch them from my design. So I'm paying another independent builder a little bit off of everyone. And I hope that kind of keeps going around. The same thing with the Ken. The Ken was the joke came first. And therefore, when I knew what kind of circuit I wanted, I realized that there was a person who was building a really superior version of this. And so I just licensed it. I was like, can I build one of those and call it the Ken? And he's like, yes, you may. And so, yeah, you can pay people a cut for every one that you sell, and like kind of hope that a rising tide lifts more than just your own boat. But that's, yeah, so like I'm paying one person to do the circuit board. I'm paying another person for the design of the circuit, which now I'm building for the Ken dual booster. And I love collaboration. Some of my best stuff has come out that way. And I expect that to continue. So mostly me, a little bit of collaboration.
That's cool. It's a kind of a little bit of a community thing.
There's a huge community. That's one of the things that really struck me. Like, it wasn't just listings on Reverb. There's an amazing, including all of you guys, like there's an amazing group of people. And I hate to say it, for me, Instagram and YouTube, two of the devil's machineries, have brought us all together.
So if someone is interested in building guitar pedals, what would be your first piece of advice to someone that has never done anything like that before? Maybe they have a few, but they're just like, I'm going to try building something.
There's an insane amount of knowledge out there, and it's not easy to know where to start. So wherever you start, learn to solder and do it well. If you practice your soldering, that is the physical backbone of everything you do. And the better your technique is, it's like if you're a musician practicing your fundamental timing, practicing the micro patterns of your alternate picking, knowing scales, practicing listening, all the really bedrock stuff. Soldering is one of those. So no matter what you do, look for information on soldering on YouTube, get the right kind of tools, and you will save yourself hundreds of hours of what most of us have gone through. Trust me. Always go back to your soldering technique.
I have a few cabs from the first times I put in speakers, and it's pretty horrible to look at. I go, it's a lot of solder. What did I do?
Right? It's like it worked. I know it worked because, damn it, I was there. But yeah, did you ever go back and just joyfully fix some of your old work, man?
Oh, yeah. My old work. I want to use that again, but I don't think it's gonna make it through a show. Yeah, it's gonna fall apart.
Right.
Rip out wiring harnesses. Yeah, nope.
Yeah. There's a lot of do-it-yourselfers at the table. So,
yeah.
We've been through it.
True.
So getting towards the end here, but so for anybody listening to the show today, or when we post the show, yep, if they're interested in picking up a Karen or the Ken when that is available, where would you like us to send them?
You can follow all the Instagram updates about Ken and basically all the latest stuff I do, Eddie Rifkind at Instagram. And then all my stuff is being sold on reverb.com right now. Also, you can look up Eddie Rifkind effects, and you can look up the Karen pedal. You will find that and an insanely expensive Vemuram overdrive. Anyway, They called it the Karen. It came out like years ago. They totally missed the boat on this
Oh,
one.
I saw that when I was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's great, but again, it's like a little bit out of my price range.
Thanks for joining us today, Eddie.
Yeah, we
Sure.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah. Have a good one, man. We'll let you know when this comes out. All right.
Don't use that tone with me.
See ya.
All right, so next up is our interview with Bryce Job from Spill Canvas.
I'm here with Bryce at the Skill Canvas. We're going to ask you a few questions. What inspired you to first start playing and making music? And who has been your biggest influence?
Sure. I don't know if anything really inspired me to start. It's just something I always wanted to do since I was a little kid. I was always playing around in pots and pans, and my mom finally got me a drum set when I was like 3 or 4. And I would just watch TV and try to learn basically from whoever was playing on the TV. So, you know, I listened to all kinds of stuff from like classic rock to country to blues and jazz.
You just absolutely play jazz stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what about, you just had, how long did it call it?
Yeah, a year and 8 months.
How's that been starting a family? And then also balancing like touring, recording?
Sure. So, I mean, I guess I was blessed in a way when COVID hit, that I didn't have anything to do. So my daughter being born, I was just home and was able to be around. Obviously now that's a little different with us being on the road. This is my first tour being away from her. So it's been really tough, but I'm really stoked that FaceTime is a thing and keep in touch every day that way. But it's definitely a lot tougher than any other tours have been on me emotionally. That's for sure.
So do you guys record in a studio and then like send each other and send you ideas back and forth?
Sure. So how we kind of demo stuff is we'll all like send each other ideas since we all live remote, or we'll take like a little snippet of an idea Nick has, and then we'll all kind of work on it separately. And then once we get together in the studio, we'll like kind of pre-produce everything and work all the parts out and that thing. We separate track it all for the most part though. That way you can get real clean sounds and change things out if you need to. So
Do you have a go-to snare or
go-to snare. Right now on this tour, I just got a new vertical drums. It's a seamless brass patinaed. It's been insane. Otherwise, I switch out with the USA bronze from Gretsch. Just a little bit different versatilities and sounds. Kind of depends on the room. Those are probably my go-tos.
what about with cymbals? You have
Cymbals. I love Zildjian. I use Zildjian religiously. I've been playing the Avitus series for a while, probably like 4 years now, and I just cracked a crash, so I've been trying out the new the Special K crashes and that kind of stuff. So I think that series is kind of going to be what I go to after I crack the rest of these. Unless they start giving them to me for free, then I can try all kinds of stuff.
So do you have any tips for musicians who want to start touring?
You want to start touring. I'd say your biggest thing to start is working in your area and regionally to kind of establish a grassroots fan base that will hopefully give you a little bit more leverage when it comes to like booking a support tour, that kind of thing, because not everyone has the money to buy onto a tour. Not everyone has just the means of like an agent to get them on a good tour. But if you have a regional draw, it's definitely more noticeable for a band coming through like, oh, these guys are doing really well up in the upper Midwest. Bring them along for this string of shows. If they draw well, lead to another thing. It's just, you really got to establish that local base and then kind of branch out from there. And I feel like eventually once you get enough of a following, then, those phone calls start coming for you.
Cool. All right. So like this one isn't really music based. It's more of we've been around a lot of different places. Where's the best place to eat?
Ooh, best place to eat. I mean, it kind of depends on the cuisine you're into, but I feel like when you're in different areas of the country, you got to kind of go with what's better. Like we've just been up in the Northeast a lot, so we've been eating like a lot of pizzas and like pastas and good like Italian food. When we go down south, I like ribs and like getting all that kind of stuff. The best place to eat, probably Memphis, man. They got just incredible ribs, incredible food. I'm all about that stuff.
One last one for you. Is there anything you'd like to plug or shout out?
Ooh, plug or shout out. We got a new album, Conduit. I mean, came out in March. Been pushing that hard. We got leg 2 of this tour coming in February. Hasn't announced yet, but it will be soon. We got a lot of things in the work. It's going to be a busy year for us. So, yeah, just stay posted.
Bryce, we appreciate you being on the podcast.
Not a problem.
Check out Skill Canvas.
That's time this week, everybody. Next week, we'll be interviewing Dan Canale about running a recording studio, and we'll be featuring music from the band Sparkle Teeth. Thanks for joining us on Woodwire and Watts. Until next time, tune up,
Crank the volume.
And let it rip.